Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a high-stakes tightrope walk, how modern developers actually balance productivity, performance, and cost when building software in 2026. The whole landscape has shifted dramatically, right? And today's builders are navigating a completely new set of challenges and some incredible opportunities when architecting their apps. So here's the million-dollar question. How do you build a massive AI SaaS without getting hit with massive bills? What's really fascinating here is that the rise of AI tools has drastically changed how we build. We can prototype and ship code faster than at any point in history. But if you rely purely on managed infrastructure just for the convenience of it, you can run straight into the dreaded PaaS trap. That's where the ease of a platform as a service suddenly morphs into unpredictable sky-high bills that literally eat your revenue alive. We've all felt that universally shared pain of waking up to a massive, unexpected cloud bill for a simple side project, right? Well, to put this into perspective, the crucial number to keep in mind is exactly $0. The data shows that a staggering 65% of founders actually spend under $50 a month during their MVP phase. And honestly, if you know how to architect your project correctly by utilizing incredibly generous free tiers and smart open source combinations, you can launch a highly scalable tech stack for exactly $0. It's all about making deliberate choices, rather than just settling for convenient defaults. To pull that off, we're going to look at the three pillars of the 2026 stack: your code using AI coding assistants, your data and the embedded versus cloud database dilemma, and finally, your cloud infrastructure choices between managed PaaS and self-hosting. Starting with Layer 1, balancing AI coding assistants. Let's look at the very foundation of your workflow, the code layer. This is an absolutely massive shift, primarily because an incredible 84% of developers are now using AI tools in their daily workflows. And these aren't just competing products. They represent entirely different philosophies. GitHub Copilot is your standard multi-IDE extension that just bolts onto your existing workflow. Cursor, on the other hand, is a rebuilt AI-native environment running right over a VS Code fork. And then we have Claude Code, a terminal-native autonomous reasoning powerhouse boasting a mind-blowing 80.8% score on the SWE bench, which is basically the ultimate standardized test for AI software engineering. When you get down to direct daily coding quality, Cursor's Super Maven model hits a 72% suggestion acceptance rate. That completely dwarfs Copilot's 30%. Since this metric is the most direct measure of inline completion quality, it's exactly why Cursor has become the absolute default editor for coordinated multi-file editing in the modern ecosystem. But the real secret here is the hybrid approach. The absolute best developers in 2026 don't just take one tool and stubbornly stick to it. Instead, they combine Cursor speed and visual diffing for daily editing with Claude Code's massive 1 million token context window. That way, they can handle large, complex refactors and automated deployment pipelines autonomously. It's all about using the right tool for the right scope of work. Before we get too carried away, though, we really need to demystify the AI hype. AI removes the grunt work, not the thinking. Studies actually show that experienced developers can be up to 19% slower if they over-rely on AI for complex architectural logic instead of just using it for boilerplate documentations and testing. Ultimately, engineering judgment still reigns supreme. You still have to be the architect. The AI is just your incredibly fast typist. Moving on to Layer 2, the database dilemma. This layer essentially forces us to choose between absolute simplicity and enterprise-ready power. And let's be real, choosing the wrong database model early on can haunt a project for years. On one side of the scale, we have SQLite. It offers zero-cost offline functionality. It's simply a file on your disk that requires absolutely no background memory when idle, making it perfect for solo prototypes or architectures where every customer gets their own isolated file. On the flip side, Supabase provides a massive bundle of hosted backend services, giving you a remote database, authentication, and real-time subscriptions without you having to write a single API endpoint. Now, if you do choose the Supabase route, you're leveraging PostgreSQL. This is currently the undisputed king of databases with a 55.6% developer adoption rate. It's absolutely essential for complex, multi-tenant software. But even better, it uniquely allows you to store AI vector embeddings, which is essentially the mathematical memory that powers AI search in context, right next to your standard relational data, using the PG vector extension. This is a real game changer because it completely eliminates the massive headache of managing a separate, expensive vector store like Pinecone. All right, let's look at Layer 3 infrastructure, PaaS versus self-hosted. The financial reality of scaling at this layer is just jaw-dropping. The decisions made here literally dictate how much of your revenue you actually get to keep. Say you're operating at a scale of 50 Next.js sites with 20 developers. Well, managed platforms like Vercel and Railway can cost between $1,200 and nearly $3,000 a month, mostly due to strict per-seat pricing and bandwidth overages. Meanwhile, self-hosting those exact same sites on 2 beefy Hetzner servers, that costs around $30 a month. So you're essentially weighing two very different paradigms. On one hand, you have Vercel's incredible developer experience, their zero-config global edge network, and automatic pull request previews. On the other hand, you have self-hosted control planes like Coolify. This gives you a Heroku-like dashboard on your only cheap hardware, letting you completely avoid those per-seat fees. But, and it's a big but, it puts the burden of server maintenance, security patching, and late-night downtime alerts squarely on your own shoulders. It's the classic trade-off between absolute convenience and total financial control. Which brings us to Layer 4, scaling AI compute costs. As your app grows and integrates more advanced features, the next major hurdle is balancing how you process complex AI tasks without completely breaking the bank. GPU compute is famously expensive, right? And mismanaging it can drain your runway overnight. So, the absolute crucial takeaway for founders here is to avoid premature optimization. You should really rely entirely on managed large language model APIs like OpenAI or Anthropic to power your product's AI features initially. It's only when your usage costs explicitly surpass about $500 a month that it financially justifies the operational leap to managing your own open source models and AI infrastructure. When you do finally hit that scale, you have to compare the heavyweights with the agile challengers. Platforms like RunPod offer serverless GPU access for AI inference that is an incredible 60 to 80% cheaper than traditional enterprise giants like AWS SageMaker. This difference is absolutely huge. It's literally the difference between running a highly profitable AI feature and launching a feature that immediately drains your startup's cash reserves. And finally, Layer 5, the ultimate AI stack. Let's synthesize all of this and visualize what a winning, meticulously balanced tech stack actually looks like in 2026. This is the culmination of choosing the right tools that allow small teams to ship like absolute giants. Stacking these choices from the bottom up gives you enterprise-grade output on a solo dev budget. So you're coding at lightning speed with Cursor and Claude. You're managing your data and vectors seamlessly with Supabase. You deploy your infrastructure via Coolify on Hetzner, and eventually you scale your open-source compute with RunPod. But wait, even the most optimized engineering stack in the world will fail if you make expensive billing mistakes. Relying on manual spreadsheets or fragmenting your revenue reporting across too many silo tools inevitably causes data silos. That disconnect leads to manual proration that actively leaks revenue, ruins your annual recurring revenue reporting, and ultimately drives up your customer churn. Your billing platform needs to be every bit as seamlessly integrated and automated as your codebase. Keep in mind, this isn't a one-size-fits-all prescription. Context is absolutely everything. If you're a solo developer, you might just stick to the generous free tiers of Vercel and an embedded SQL-like database to completely minimize your operational headaches. But a team of 5, they will drastically benefit from shifting to self-hosted platforms like Coolify early on, just to dodge those punishing per-seat licenses that unfairly scale up with headcount. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself a hard question about your current workflow. Are you actively balancing your tech stack for cost, performance, and control, or are you just passively paying the past tax for convenience? The tools exist today to give you total ownership over your product's destiny. You just have to choose to wield them.